OOIDA has been working for a long time on a lot of these.
We've been running down the list of pro-trucker initiatives the USDOT is proposing, and we'll continue that by looking at the changes that could be coming to the DataQ process and OOIDA's role in making that happen. Mark Schremmer of Landline Magazine joins us as he usually does, always does, often does, with the details. Mark, good to see you.
I do when I'm asked.
You do what you're told. That's right. Quick refresher here because, we did have 9 initiatives, and I think there's a lot going on. But the plan here that the USDOT laid out for the DataQ process and kind of maybe overhauling it, what's that look like?
Yeah, so I mean, this stems back from OOIDA for years, basically saying that it's a broken system and that there's a lack of due process. And I don't know. I think due process is something most people would like. And this data review system, a big kind of sticking point and issue with it for years has been basically, I think I got a bad decision on this, so I would like you to review it, and I'm appealing it. And then the same person that gave you the original issue is the person
judge,
to go,
jury, executioner.
Yeah, could you imagine, like if if our court system worked that way, that a district court judge gave you what you perceived to be a bad ruling, so you go to the appeals court, and then you're just back the same judge.
Yeah,
and it's like this isn't probably going to go very well for us.
Yeah.
That's why a system isn't set up that way. So hopefully, what we're seeing again of all of these issues, these 9 initiatives that DOT has kind of set forth. You can see OOIDA's, fingerprints on so many of them, and this is another one where they're going to try to take steps to reform, like what OOIDA called a broken system. And we're already have a notice in the Federal Register, and comments on that will be taken through early September.
Yeah, and obviously we would encourage folks out there, if they've got thoughts on this, and specifically thoughts on how to make it better, more efficient, more fair, whatever metric you want to use, that's the place to do it.
Yeah, and also in there, the DOT has a list of several questions that they want to ask as far as the feedback. They kind of have a list of general requirements right now of how they would want states to go about it, and as far as timeliness and accuracy and fairness and all of those. So it definitely looks promising. There's steps in the right direction, but this is, like I said, and this is nice too, because sometimes on these requests for comments, they kind of rush them. Maybe it's just a 30-day or whatever. But this is one we got all the way.
It's a long one.
Yeah.
For 3 more, I guess, 2 months? I have no sense of time anymore.
Yeah.
A few months.
60-some days,
there
I think, is basically what we have here.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely get those comments in.
Yeah, no,
and answer those questions.
Yeah, it's definitely important. So look at them, use thought, and again, this is kudos to DOT for listening, and hopefully some good things will come out of it.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before, but that's the most encouraging thing I think about what we heard and saw last week from the USDOT. Is that it is clear, and we've talked about this too, but it's clear from the 9 things that they put out there that they are listening to the concerns that have been raised. And again, OOIDA President Todd Spencer raised these directly to the Secretary Duffy, about a month or so ago, I guess it was now, about these very issues. And now we're seeing them pop up in this way. It's super encouraging to see this.
And you can see him from just recently, like you said, the talks with OOIDA President Todd Spencer. You can see it from congressional hearings that Louis Pugh testified at, Senate and House. And also you can trace it back to just comments that have been filed years back. I mean, I think the DataQ one, I think it was 2022 comments. ELD was another one we were talking about. I think there was also 2022 comments there. But all of these, you can look back at so many of them and see Mr. Spencer at a House hearing back in 2019 talking about a lot of these issues too. So OOIDA has been working for a long time on a lot of these.
regarding that ELD issue, and I'm glad they did this as well, because we had talked about a rumor swirling around about the pre-2000 exemption maybe going away. The DOT, and this is a real brief mention here, but did bring this up in this initiative, in this 9-point action plan, and essentially try to put some of those rumors to rest.
Yeah, I mean, so what it stems back to is that under the previous administration, they did put out an advance notice of proposed rulemaking. It's basically, a fact-gathering stage of the process. And one of the things they asked about was information on whether or not that exemption for the pre-2000 trucks should stay or not. So that somehow led into, like you said, a recent rumor that this administration was going to remove that exemption. They basically just came out as part of it and confirmed they have no plan to do that. If you look at the data, there's no information that proves that ELDs have improved safety, and so there's really no reason to remove that exemption.
Always fun to squash a rumor where it sits if you can, for sure. Mark, you and your colleagues there have been covering these issues for Landline Magazine. Landline.media is the place to get all the information. We appreciate your time as always, and we will see you soon.
All right. Always happy to be here.